because one of the things that was very important to us is when I showed you the photographs, Sternfeld's photographs, it's a mile long of the same thing, right? The historical High Line is are rail tracks and meadows for a mile. And all of the variation, all of the difference is on the outside. So every step you take, your experience of variety is on the outside. The buildings that you're passing and the views and the vistas and the changing scenery. So we wanted the High Line to remain constant and unified, and therefore the paving and the railings and the lighting and the furniture have a very similar vocabulary. But you're right, there are certain locations where we wanted to do something different. And one of those was we call it the Woodland Flyover. The idea from that came about because there are two very tall buildings on the side of the High Line there, and they kept the 2 blocks in shade all day long. And originally that's the only location where trees grew. So when we first walked on the High Line, we saw meadow and grasses and flowers. But here we found trees. And it was damp and moist and magical. And the buildings are very close, like these 2 walls that are in here. So we wanted to preserve the ground here. And we made very big hills and hollows of soil, and were able to replant some very big trees in here. We wanted them to be a little weird, so we originally picked sumac trees, but sumac trees were unable to be transplanted here, so we chose what's called a big leaf magnolia, and that's where you get the leaves that are this big. That we call them
this big right now.
Yeah, we call them Dr. Seuss trees. And so the idea is to create a woodland here, and therefore the flyover is a catwalk that takes you over that and through the trees and gives you these great views and sort of a magical departure from being exposed and being open to now being in the thicket of the trees. You can see this is the original drawing, and that's actually an original photograph of that location. That's what I mean about the trees growing up there. So this is what it was originally. Well, that was it originally, but then the grasses moved in and the trees, and therefore we designed this. And there's also this is a drawing, actually, of what it was like. This was showing the sumac trees and the idea of walking through the canopy of the sumac trees. And this is another drawing. Sort of strange how close it is, right? This was a drawing we made of being in these sorts of Dr. Seussian trees in between these buildings. And it's pretty much how it turned out.